What's up, dudes? Lady dudes? God, that was hard to watch. Because I can see myself on OBS. I'm sorry. Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today, I'm doing a fun video, pretty much going over every deck that's going to get support here in the future in the next couple months. Obviously, it's not right around the corner. We do have national season, so usually we don't get products during the month, of, at least, of nationals. So we're going to have June, and then in July, we'll get two products. August, I believe we get two products, and then we just, like, literally it's like two products a month, and it's actually pretty cool. So I'm going to be going over a bunch of decks that are getting some sort of support that I think is significant to their archetype. Keep in mind it's to their archetype, so while it may not all these decks are obviously getting bumped up to tier 2 or higher, it's a significant bump in their own right, because a lot of these decks are like tier 4, they're getting a nice little bump, maybe that gets them to tier 3, small stuff, 3.5, small movements, but it's just a list of if you love older decks, or decks not older, doesn't necessarily have to be older, but if a deck that you want support because you think it's underpowered, in the next couple months they could be getting support. So if you didn't want to watch like news videos and keep up with all my news videos and stuff, this is just one video telling you everything that is, as of right now, we have essentially confirmed support for. So let's get into it. I don't want to waste any more time. We have a ton of decks to go through. First one is Dino Wrestlers. Listen, Pankratops, the Field Spell, and that one level 4, the only really good ones, but they're just pumping out Dino Wrestler cards. Are they good? No. But it's more, so it's support. If you like them, play them. I mean, do what you do. But yeah, Dino Wrestlers. Next up is Earthbound Immortals. This is one of the decks for the Legendary Duelist Pack 5. Again, also, I did try and order these more or less in terms of how relevant they are meta-wise, so I'll do the more tier 5, 4 stuff first, and then we work our way up. It's not hard ordered. I didn't spend too much time on it, so don't get too, flustered over the nitty-gritty. But yeah, Earthbounds are next. Earthbounds are like unplayable at the moment. They'll become slightly playable in the future. An interesting OTK deck, possible interesting lockdown deck, I think. There's some like OTKs, FTKs, stuff like that. Yeah, but they're cool. Next up is Charmers, or I guess Familiar Possessed. They are getting their second Link monster, and the more Link monsters they get, they are just going to be one of the decks that can take the most advantage of it. It works the same way as Hita. Also keep in mind this could be relevant in the meta should we get any deck that is 1, a win-based deck, or 2, maybe something like Drollin Lockbird comes back into favor as a hand trap. This card can take advantage of that, helping you Link climb by taking their monster. Just something to keep in mind. Yosenjus, they get a couple new cards. I think they get like 3 monsters and like a spell in a trap, or 2 traps. I don't remember exactly what it is, but they get a decent amount of support, and I think it definitely will help. I mean, obviously they're an outdated strategy as of now, but they're cool. I think it's a really interesting, unique strategy that I think a good amount of people will definitely appreciate on that rogue level. Next up, we have gadgets. So we have the new set, the new mini booster set or whatever, just a booster set. Gadgets of the Fire Fist, and so we have like confirmed gadget support, I think, which is interesting. I'm not really sure where they plan to go from there. A very, very power-crept archetype, but we did get Platinum Gadget and Dual Power. We do have Silver and Gold Gadget, which are pretty good. I'm kind of excited to see where they end up going with gadget support, so keep an eye on for that. Next up is Predaplans. This is another one of the Duelist Pack 5 archetypes getting support. They get a new fusion monster. They get, I think they've shown 1 new regular monster. They'll special summon. I don't really know too much about the archetype. I know it's a fusion-based archetype. Can definitely take advantage of Super Poly against some of the meta decks, but I don't know. Cool stuff. I mean, it's cool. Like, Predaplanet's obviously never super meta, but this will definitely help them get a little better. So if you like them, cool, good for you. Next up is just generic. As a generic insect card, supports any insect deck. If you want to play the giant ballpark stuff, if you want to play Insectors, obviously without Dragonfly they're not amazing, but still this helps. This card has like a quick effect to just special summon an insect from grave, which is pretty cool. We also have the Battle Wasp stuff finally getting imported from, I guess, the show. I don't know if it was in the OCG or not, but we finally have Battle Wasp stuff coming, and this stuff is, I think they're just generically solid insect cards, so maybe they do have merit in just an insector deck, maybe just in a ballpark deck, actually making them not straight up legitimate, but you know, a cool rogue strategy that can maybe top a regional. But they're cool. I think they're cool. Next up is Evil Heroes. Some definitely some fan favorite ones, because people wanted Evil Heroes to get support a long time ago. They were kind of bummed that like Destiny Heroes and Evil Hero and Elemental Heroes were a little more fleshed out, but Evil Heroes and like Vision Heroes were totally left behind. And spoiler, Vision Heroes right behind this one. We get a new fusion monster. We get a monster that helps you search their fusion cards, so really nice consistency piece. And I'm really excited to see what other support we end up getting for Evil Heroes, because me and a couple of my friends were literally sitting around. We were like, yo, you know what'd be lit is if we all just like built a different hero deck. Like I got Elemental Heroes, Chris and Mike are fighting over Destiny Heroes, Evil Heroes, Vision Heroes. We'll see where we all end up, but it would just be a cool thing to do with a bunch of different hero decks. Vision Heroes as well, getting a good number of cards. I don't know if we have these officially confirmed yet, but I believe these have a good chance of being in Battles of Legend. Don't quote me on that. But I think there's a good chance. I don't think it's officially confirmed, but I did want to throw these in there because I think there is a good chance it's in there. But just not official. So cool. Vision Heroes, Evil Heroes, really dope. A lot of people love that. Next one up is our Dark Lord Link monster. Oh wait, I'm gonna take this off here. My bad. Don't count this one. I don't think that one was ever confirmed for a set. So I did not mean to leave that in. So let's go to, what is it? Okay, our next one is Fortune Lady. Sorry about that, guys. Jeez, I went through and I went pretty quick when I was just deleting ones that weren't officially confirmed. We have Fortune Lady. Fortune Ladies. They actually have a large amount of support coming. They have the Synchro. I think they have a spell that's essentially like a tanky, like you literally just search any Fortune Lady monster. We're getting like all the sprites. So Carly Carmine from the 5Ds anime used like Fortune Ladies, but at first she used like the Fortune Lady fairies, which is like 6 different fairies. So we're getting like 6 different fairies. We're getting like another level 1, the Synchro, and then like a trap card and like 2 spells or something. Like it's almost like 10 support cards, maybe even more than that. So a lot of support. If there's a deck you like, awesome. I don't think it'll be crazy good, but I've seen some stuff where it can actually combo off and just draw a ton of cards with the water Fortune Lady. So cool deck. If it, it might be a fan favorite for a good amount of fairy. All the cute girl archetypes always are, but just keep an eye out for it because it could actually be pretty legit. And this card's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's decent. It's pretty good. Next up is Rockets, and this one's a little more straightforward. Rockets are straight up getting an entire structure deck dedicated to them. This is a new card. This card essentially lets you look at your opponent's extra deck and just banish a card from it, which is pretty nuts. So 1900 beat stick while also doing that. He also has that same rocket effect float, which is pretty solid. And yeah, we have that. We have like a new Link monster that's like crazy, a new Topologic, I think, Link monster in there. We have a new fusion for Rockets. We have a new fusion spell card I think lets you fuse. Is it from the deck? No, it's not from the deck, but it lets you destroy, so they can trigger the Rocket's effects while also getting out the big fusion. So some pretty interesting cards there. I'm not sure where the deck will be, but it'll definitely be better for sure. Just cool. This isn't necessarily support, but this is a brand new archetype called Tennies I did want to throw in there. I mean, like, it may not already exist, but it is getting support out of nowhere for itself to just develop. It's a really cool archetype. It has all these Tennies, one of each attribute. They essentially can special themselves from hand if you control a non-effect monster, I believe. So they can just drop themselves out, and then you link up. They have some non-effect link monsters. They have some really powerful spells and traps. They're getting like a Synchro later on that literally just banishes stuff as a quick effect, which is pretty strong. And yeah, I mean, I think don't sleep on them because I think they are like a sleeper decent deck for like straight up, because they have like 2-card combos that are actually pretty strong. Combined with like a really powerful counter trap, a field spell that lets you draw a card as soon as your opponent special summons something. Draws 2 cards actually, I believe. And a really good turbo spell card as well. So don't sleep on them. Definitely keep an eye out on them. Next up we have Simorgs. Before it was just like Dark Simorg, the Light Simorg, and the Wind Simorg, but now we're getting an entire archetype. I believe 10 new cards based around him. It's like 4 lower monsters, 2 more boss monsters, and then like 2 spells and 2 traps, or 3 spells and 1 trap, something like that. But it's pretty cool. I don't think it's amazing. I think it's an interesting rogue strategy. But it's like if your opponent has a spell or trap on the field, like it makes it hard for you to play. So that's the problem. If you don't go first, your opponent's probably going to be able to put a spell or trap on the field and make it a big problem for you. But, you know, it is what it is. It's cool. It's really fun. I like winged beasts. They're cool. So there you go. Some orgs. Next up is Witchcrafter. Sorry this picture's so small. I didn't know it was so small. It's my fault. So far, we only have this one card revealed for Witchcrafter support. Witchcrafter being a new, like, cute girl witch archetype that we got recently out of the last deck build pack. This is like a weird hand trap that allows you to essentially compulse a monster your opponent controls back to their hand when they target something. Target one of your monsters, but it's target by battle or target with a card effect. So even if they try to attack you, you drop this. So it's actually pretty easy to get this to fire off. It's a 2800 body. It's a pretty cool card, and it's pretty searchable too. So the Golem, I think her name is Golem Aruru. Funny name. Next up is Gimmick Puppets. Gimmick Puppets, another one of the legendary duelist pack cards, decks, I guess. It's getting a good number of cards. We don't know yet 100% if they're getting this link here, but the link's really strong. They're getting a rank 4 monster that I believe lets you steal your opponent's monsters, which is pretty good. They're getting like a couple new engine monsters, just more consistency pieces, which is pretty cool. And yeah, really looking forward to them. Like, I know they're a little bit creepy, but they could be fairly strong coming up. I'm not sure yet. We don't have him confirmed. I'm not sure why I left him in here. In the next big set, we're getting this card. This card might be one of the chase cards, but it's like the next Fairy Tale Snows, what people call it. As a quick effect, it can special itself from hand or grave by banishing, I believe, 8 cards from your main deck face down. And then also has an effect where you can banish 3 from your extra deck to pop a monster on the field. Something like that, more or less. He's a really strong card. This is here to talk about how it buffs Gren Maju Daiza decks, where the deck with the monster that just OTKs because it gains like 300 attack or whatever for every banished card, period. Yours, your opponent's, whatever. And you yourself can banish up to a ton just turn 1 and then just attack once per game. That's essentially the whole strategy of the deck. But this card is a really nice turbo card. And even just for any deck that can abuse this, that doesn't really care too much about banishing stuff. They don't play a ton of one-of stuff. Decks like that can really abuse this card. It's just like a built-in boss monster. You just play 1 or 2 copies of it, and you just draw, and it's a 1-card Wrecking Crew, kind of like Pankratops. Or, I guess, what is it? Eater of Millions. Cards like that. Really strong. Next up is Psyframe Gear Lambda. This is a new Link monster that allows you to use your Psyframes from hand. Obviously, it boosts Psyframes themselves, but I think more importantly, it boosts any going second deck, or if your opponent does force you to go first, if you do play Gamma or you do play the other hand traps, you can make this going first, and then on your opponent's turn still have an insanely powerful disruption in either Gamma, Alpha, or whatever the other one is. I don't remember its name. I don't remember all their names. But yeah, really strong Link monster. It's just a generic, and it's still 1700, which is decent. And yeah, don't sleep on this card. It's actually pretty solid. So could turn a couple things, adjust a couple of the strategies to actually be able to more reliably use those insane hand traps. Next up here is the Code Talker deck, or more generically Cyberse in general. So we have for that Gadgets of the Fire Fist set, we have it confirmed that we're getting, I think, 10 new Cyberse cards. I think a lot of them are going to be imports from the OCG. I don't think they're going to be a ton of brand new ones, but we can expect to maybe get Shooting Code, maybe the original Code Talker, the like Micro Coder, and all the ones that can let you link from hand, which is pretty cool. We've actually seen a couple of those decks pop up in the OCG, so it might actually be like a semi-decent deck here. We won't know until we find out, but the Code Talker stuff, or just Cyberse in general, getting a nice buff there. And they're always dropping new Cyberse stuff in every new set, so you like every time we're going to get some Cyberse support. And here we have Trap Tricks. So Trap Trick Sarah here. Really actually make the deck a legitimate strategy. Before, it just felt like a bunch of random monsters with a bunch of back row, and that was it. It was just kind of a stun strategy. It's still a stun strategy, but it's a lot more reliable with Sarah. She just gains you so much advantage. When you activate a Trap Tricks monster effect other than her own, you get to set straight from the deck any trap hole straight from the deck, and then when you activate a normal trap card, doesn't have to be a trap hole specifically, any normal trap card, she will let you special summon any Trap-Trix monster straight from the deck. So she can get you a ton of advantage. The biggest weakness is obviously during the battle phase for the deck because she's only 800, but still, just definitely keep an eye on this deck. This deck is actually fierce. Next up is Fire Fist, and this one is a huge question mark. We're not really sure exactly what we're getting because we're getting apparently 10 new Fire Fist cards. We have to assume one is going to be Eagle, a really powerful Link monster that makes it so essentially you just don't pay cost for any of your Fire Fist effects, which is nuts. And after that, we have essentially another Link monster confirmed, at least one more. We have a Ritual monster confirmed, which obviously we don't have high hopes meta-wise for that. So we have to assume there's going to be at least one of him and then another, Ritual card. And then other than that, we've got 6 cards that are essentially like up in the air. That could be anything. They said new Fire Formation cards, so hopefully we get some good Fire Formation traps. We have some built-in disruption finally for this deck. That would be really cool. And yeah, this is just one of the biggest question marks because we know Eagle, and Eagle's actually a really nice buff for the deck already. But we don't know 9 other cards and exactly what they do. So when we find out, we'll actually know how good this deck can be after that. So really high hopes for this deck, and I love Fire Fist. Even from before I even knew anything competitive about Yu-Gi-Oh, I thought Fire Fist are one of the coolest archetypes. And the last, not the last one here, sorry, whoops. We have Coral and Enemy, we have Marine Cess stuff. Particularly, all right, so like Marine Cess aren't going to have enough cards out the gate to be a legitimate archetype yet, but the core of Marine Cess is already going to buff a couple of decks. It's going to buff Coral and Enemy, already by herself is going to buff Frogs and Mermails. The engine itself can even probably still be played in Frogs. I doubt it'd be played in Mermails, but at least Coral and Enemy as an extender can still be played in Mermails. It's a really strong extender to special summon any water from grave once per turn, I believe. So that's pretty insane. But I'm really excited for Frogs. I'm a more control player, so Frogs for me more so than Mermails. But still, if you like either of those decks, I know those are both pretty fan favorite decks. So keep an eye on those when they come out. And I believe the last card we have here is Raidraptor / Blackwings. Any Darkwing Beast deck, which I believe is mainly going to be those two. But yeah, Raidraptor wise-stryx is actually nuts. The reason I put this here at the first lot is because we literally saw Blackwings this week make top 4 at a Nationals. So if Blackwings can already get top 4 at a Nationals, then who knows what they can do with Raidraptor. This is like essentially their Needle Fiber. And if Needle Fiber comes out, Blackwings can make use of that immensely. So there's a lot of like utility in, a lot of utility Blackwings already have, but this card allows them as a huge extender. They didn't get their own Link monster, but this one essentially just is their Link monster. So really strong. And Raidraptor as well. I've seen them do some pretty cool stuff, making like Cyber Dragon Infinity like turn 1 and stuff. Actually gets kind of nuts. And also Rusty Bardiche bumps those decks up immensely. So keep an eye out for that. I think that's pretty much it. Yep, definitely is. I guess we can throw out Geminis as well. They just got confirmed like a new structure deck for them. Hopefully there's really strong support in there. I'll just say that right at the end. That's pretty much it, guys. I know this is a longer video, but there was literally like 30 decks to talk about, so I tried to do them pretty quick, and I think I did a decent job. I know the video is a little longer, but considering 30 decks, trying to say a little something about each deck. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you think I missed anything that's really significant, I tried, like, if it was like really small stuff, like there was like one reptilian monster, but I was like, I'm not gonna go out and like talk about reptilians because like one monster is not even that good. Whatever. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more from me in the future, go and subscribe to the channel for more. And I love you guys. Thanks. Peace.